So you can do that to farm gold up as much as you want, basically. There you go, you learned something. I demonstrated what the expert was telling us. But that's the kind of gaming that I don't really do, so... If you've come to this stream to look at that kind of thing, you're on the wrong stream. That was me resetting the saving and then restarting the game, basically. That's just so you turn this power on the system off. It resets the start set. It resets the random strings to the beginning. And you can use that to guarantee certain battles. The money I'm here. This is the Dwarven place. I only came here for money, so. As soon as you have the ship, you can come up here and pick some cash up. If I get poisoned, though, it's gonna suck. Is there anywhere else to pick up money easily? I think that's the only one. I could go visit Matoya now and pick up a couple heals and Pure. Probably. We're already getting pretty powerful just like that. Could have come up here earlier, but I didn't want to risk the long walk with the wolves and stuff. And yes, those were dwarf sporkin chaps. They are, that's where you get Excalibur, which is the second best sword in the game. We should definitely be strong enough to kill this guy, yeah. See, as soon as I got that extra weapon in, now if you're watching, it says 2 hits every time I do an attack. That's specifically because I got above 30, I think 31% hit rate. Once we get to 62 or 63%, that'll change to 3 times. This is Matoya, she's lost her crystal. We'll be back. The power penis. We'll talk about that once I've got the silver sword and maybe a little bit higher level. I'm actually gonna lose here if I'm not paying attention. Do I have any? I got a couple. Yeah, we'll talk about the power leveling bit that's basically a glitch. I don't normally do that unless it's when I did my solo thief run, I had to do that to get a high enough level to kill Astos. But normally, for most parties, that would not be required. You could just make it to the Earth Temple before that was a problem, and you can grind off giants way better there. Yeah, it's a solo run, Zero. The goal here is you've got one character, you get 4 times the experience because you're the only one alive, and it's kind of a challenge. Well, it's definitely a challenge. That's a little bit much. Welcome to the Elf Town. This is the sword we need. The silver sword is really, really good. Iron armor would be nice, but it would delay me getting a silver sword. And the iron shield is cheap enough, we'll pick that up, I guess. Oops. It's an upgrade. It's probably like 1 or 2 absorb for... I keep clicking on one. Oh, the wooden helmet would actually be slightly better too. These things are really cheap, so I'll buy them and get a couple extra absorption points. But the iron armor, which would be a serious upgrade over the chain, is just too expensive right now. So that puts us at 23 absorb. We take a little bit less damage. The power penis. It's just, well, I'm not strong enough to do it yet, so it's hard to explain until I get there. It's an unusually high-level monster area, though. Okay, we're level 184, low on potions and stuff. That's fine. Stats 60 to 620. So what I usually do around now is spend a little bit of time around Elf Town fighting ogres until I have enough money to buy the silver sword. So that is basically what we're going to do. It might be by the time slightly faster to do this with the Kaizoku, especially if you do the reset thing, because you don't run into ogres all that often. Actually, there's one thing. I should move over a little bit further to the left. I generally run away from wolves because it's a waste of time, but apparently my running away skills is very poor. I think that's tied to your agility, so maybe I should just kill them. Well, Tef, it's not a very long game in the grand scheme of things. If there was an RPG to master, well, Dragon Warrior or / Quest #1, probably the easiest, but this is a close second. It's not... It was complicated when I was 7, but as an adult, nah, it's not that bad. There you go. 195 bucks per ogre. Quite good. My running away skills are pretty bad. I mean, technically we have 12 agility, so he doesn't seem to escape. I don't know exactly how the stats work behind the scenes. I know thieves tend to run away, but I don't know if that's because of their class or because they have good agility. Heck, the instruction manual literally says thieves are good at running away. The one thing missing on a fighter run is lack of offensive magic, so you can't wipe groups out really quickly. So when you fight 9 monsters, it just takes forever. How am I going to do the ice cave? Very, very carefully. I'm going to try to remember which monsters I can run from and which ones I have to kill. And kill the ones I have to and die when I fight the ones you can't run away from. I'll almost certainly be doing the Gurgu volcano before the ice cave. Getting promoted is not a priority for a fighter. Not as much, anyway. I do have save states if I have to, but I'm going to try to make it through and kill the eye without using save states. I don't know if it'll be possible, though. When I'm just level grinding, I don't mind saving after a battle and just reloading, but when I go into a cave, I'll try to do it fair. We'll throw down a tent outside of it, and if we die, we die. Kind of like when we fight bosses and stuff. Take a shot every time you get murdered. It won't be that bad, but you're welcome to. I have to go buy another pure potion. Dang it. Stupid arachnids. I hate those things. You can't hear it, but when you're walking around poison, there's this annoying beep sound, and you drain your HP while you're walking. It's really annoying. So close to my sword. I don't really want to spend very much money. Oops. I just want my silver sword. Then we'll be one-shotting these things. The werewolf will probably poison us as well. Oops. Sometimes when you've got the fast forward too high, it's very easy to misinput your buttons, your commands. Alright, so how much do I need? I need 400 bucks, basically. 2 ogres. Oh, we did. These things are the worst when you're doing a single party run. They can paralyze you, and they can basically keep you paralyzed forever if you're unlucky. Now, one-on-one, we should be okay, but these things are just the death of everybody. It's worse if you're playing a mage, but yeah, those guys are bad news. Okay, 200 bucks. Not always, no. The reason I tend to go left is because my favorite group is a group with 1 green ogre and 2 ogres flanking him, and I don't know, I traditionally find it to the west of town. But I've spent a lot of time grinding around this town, so if there was a spot that always spawned ogres, I would always be there. I forgot I can sell my sword. I could have traded this in a little bit earlier. Anyway, here we go. Silver sword. That will last us a very long time. We don't want Sephiroth. I already turned it down a little bit. We'll try 45%. Alright. Now that we've got the super sword, I suppose I should get the armor as well. Oh, stupid wolves. I'll show off the meadow he mentioned, though. Meadows over here. I used to spend a lot of time over here too, but the encounter rate is the same group, basically. The pool of monsters is the same. Sometimes you get ogres, sometimes you get wolves. We're still only doing 2 hits per attack, but they're much more powerful. I think that's enough money for the armor, but we'll do a little bit more. I hate fighting wolves. It just takes forever. So at this point, what we're prepping for, really, if you don't know the story for Final Fantasy 1, the elves have the key, the mystic key, and we need that to get some stuff. I think, okay, the dwarves, we can't get out of the inner ocean without dynamite, or whatever they call it, TNT. To get that, it's in Corneria Castle, but you need a key, a mystic key, to get it. The elves have the mystic key, but they're not sharing. So you go talk to the elves. Their prince has disappeared. No, their prince has been put asleep, so they need Matoya to brew a herb to wake him up. But Matoya has lost her crystal, so she won't do it. So you need to find the crystal, which was stolen by a dark elf. We can go meet him. Yeah, I know that, Zero. We actually demonstrated that right at the beginning of the stream. It's actually not the same guaranteed, though. If you change zones, it's not the same. I can show that, too. Okay, save state. So, 6 wolves. This is an obvious choice, but if I go into the water, it's not 6 wolves. If you change land zones as well, like the Power Penis, instead of 6 wolves, you'll fight a giant or something. It is the same number of steps, though, so that much is correct. I suppose I should probably heal up, and then we'll go talk to Astos. I mean, not Astos. He's totally a legit king. It's a secret. I'm probably not nearly high enough level to do the cave. But eventually we have to go to a cave to get the crown for Astos so that he will be nice and give us something and backtrack all through that big long list of doing stuff that I just mentioned. Oh, this place doesn't sell any tents. That's dumb. Why can't you swim across the river? Unfortunate. Once we get the canoe, we can do that. I'm gonna go buy some tents back in Corneria. Simon Belmont. Yeah, basically, water kills everything. Yeah. Okay, just gonna pick up a few of these. 3, 4. These are more mobile save spots. So if you're not using save states especially, you're going to need a lot of tents. That way you can save it on the way over, and it'll sort of reset your encounter a little bit. Ah, it will reset your encounter. It's just not guaranteed that you'll survive it. Alright, we should be good. Never turn down the chance to kill ogres. Unless you're level 1. I think if I was able to buy enough potions and pures, we might be strong enough to make a run through the cave already. It's just a matter of getting enough money, Zero. I'm just showing off Astos right now. This is still grinding, technically. And we're getting really lucky with ogres, so I'm happy. This is the correct boss music for this game, just a different release. No. Which one is this from? I know it's from Origins. I can't remember if it's from Dawn of the Second or not. Anyway, this is totally not Astos, who's wants me to get the crown from the Cave of Marsh. Picture of dead party members. Yeah. I recruited 3 black mages and killed them at level 1. Solo Might Mage, yeah. I have done that. Well, technically I upgraded to White Wizard, but yeah, I was able to do that. This is another one of those doors. Seeing as I mentioned that, Mystic Key. Lots of stuff is locked up. We will need to get that Mystic Key before too much longer. I kind of like playing it with just one fighter, because you can just hold down the attack button and kill everything. Makes it go pretty quick. Get reasonable time to use a tent. It doesn't actually heal very much life, unfortunately. It just saves it. Wonder how many heals I'm going to need to make it through that cave. Depends on the randomness. I mean, fighting all these ogres is really good for money. We got quite a lot of money. I think I can pull this off now. This is pretty low level to go run through the marsh cave. The wizards at the end will probably wreck me. Well, maybe not. Fighters do pretty well against them. I can generally kill them in one shot. Shoot. Dang it. I just totally... I put the controller down, planning... I gotta be careful with that. I was planning on pressing the auto button and taking a drink, the auto buy button. And of course I accidentally made it tap the reload button. I gotta make sure I don't do that. Don't worry, the battles on the way home will be exactly the same. So take a drink anyway. Pure... Well, it doesn't do very much damage though. I'd almost rather spend the money on heals and just have a couple pures for... on the way out. This might be bad. See, it's not always the same, even when you reload. Come on. Get up. I should probably be trying to run here. Yeah, we're dead. There's actually 2 types of stun, and sometimes it is actually permanent until the end of the battle. So, this is bad news. Alright, we got away. I hate those things so much. So much. That'll be what kills us when we go to the Cave of Marsh. Alright, so the goal here is to buy a bunch of heals. Once I spend all my money, we'll see how much we have left over, or how many heals we have, and I'll make my decision based on that. This was the worst part of the game when you were playing it on the cartridge. I don't think I have enough. This didn't go on very long. 35? I need more cash. Okay, the plan will be get one more level up, and then with that much money we'll go see if we can do the cave. There's not really any treasure in the cave worth picking up, so that's not a problem. It's just a matter of making it to the bottom and getting out in one piece. This is great. You walk outside murdered by freaking zombies, basically. Yep. I have a feeling this time we got hit by the perma-stun. Some stuns you just never get out of. Sometimes it just takes a couple turns. Sometimes you just never stand up again. That's great. This is what makes solo runs really, really difficult. Yeah. He did not stand up even once. So we went to the right, and instead of fighting 2 geists, we fought 2 ogres. That's great. It sort of proves one of my points, that there's actually a zone transition around here. So you could save state between each battle, try out one side, and then try out the other side. Although I didn't get far enough, obviously, but... there is a transition over here somewhere. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll try to figure out where the transitions are today. Let's see. 1 spider versus 5 wolves. The wolves are worse. 5 wolves there. 5 wolves there. See, yeah, it's like out of the forest, maybe. I don't know what the rules are. So that was a werewolf. One wolf and a bunch of little wolves. I seem to remember testing this out, and there's certain monsters that are like if you fight the Geists in one area, you will definitely fight ogres in the other area. And if you fight wolves in one area, you will just fight the werewolf in the other area. Like, it's kind of similar, although not exactly the same. Like I said, I've messed around in this area an awful lot because you have to level grind here no matter what party you're using. Whether you're solo partying it or you've got a proper party, you're probably going to spend a fair bit of time just fighting stuff. You need the 4,000 gold for the silver swords is really important. Also, you can buy a bunch of level 3 and 4 magic, which is very, very expensive as well. It's 4,000 per level 4 spell. So if you want to get any of that, you're just going to need a lot of money. Hope you can hear the car alarm outside. That's awesome. I love being able to hear that. 100, it's level up time. I suppose, on one hand, the levels up are going pretty quickly, so I should still be grinding anyway, because it's only taking, you know, a few fights per level up. I could also crack the speed up even higher. Alright, almost 300 HPs. Let's go take this money. Did I buy? Yeah, I bought... No, I still have the chain armor? Was that the right one? No, not my car alarm. No, you can just hear them over. Ah, the iron armor. See, that's right. I forgot about that. No one reminded me. Chainmail was old. I was supposed to buy the iron armor. That will take whatever our old absorb was, like 23 or something. That'll actually give us a fairly good upgrade. Yeah, up to 32. I should have done that a long time ago. Silly Ankylo. I forgot about that. Part of the problem with live streaming, you know, it's easy to forget things. Oops. So monsters will do even less damage to us now. They always do a minimum of 1 if they hit, which kind of sucks. So you get sort of whittled down 1 hit at a time by big groups. We'll try. Let's try. What's the worst that could happen, right? We just die. Dying's no big deal. We do it all the time in these games. This next area scared me when I was a kid, though. Like, I was legitimately frightened of the Cave of Marsh. Already 1 poison. Where's the promised cat cam? Well, we don't have a webcam yet. We'll have to set up a Patreon or something to fund that one. I'm not going to have enough pures, probably. Anyway, this is the cave. We'll start with full. And we put a save there. Let's try it with no save states and see what happens. I don't think I can even hurt those without magic, so... That's another pure. So that's really unlucky, the fact that we've had 2 poisonous monsters in a row. I know this route pretty well, though. Though I cannot run from crawls. They can paralyze you, and I believe it's impossible to run from them. So we may have just gamed over right now. It wasn't a perma-paralyze. That's nice. And then paralyzed again. These ones are probably the worst fights you run into down here, to be honest. Because you can't run. And then once you're paralyzed, it's just... This is just never-ending. Alright, well, I think our first attempt at the Cave of Marsh was dead by just impossible encounters. So that's too bad. Doesn't mean the run is impossible. It's just bad luck. I'd say we're almost halfway through the cave, too. It's not very big. If you know where you're going, it doesn't take very long. And to be fair, if you bought the game on the NES, you had a cool map, so you should have known basically where to go. Or at least you'd only have to explore it once. I kind of miss holding L and R to run. Okay, scorpions are annoying because they poison you and they do pretty good damage. They're actually an enemy from far later in the game, but you can run away from them, so that's fine. Under this one, lots of monsters I can't really fight, and that poison me every time. Now, see, I know someone mentioned I should have more pures. This is incredibly unlucky, though. Normally, this doesn't happen so regularly. Like gargoyles, they won't poison me, they just do normal damage. Okay, 1, 2, 3. This is the one you want to be ready for, though. See, this is how far you have to make it into this dungeon to get to the boss. It's really not that long. Oh, we got the luckiest roll. So this tile always has wizard encounter. It has between 2 and 6 or 5. 5 or 6 is the max. They're quite strong, and they actually don't do any magic. So they're wizards that are really just physically strong. I think they've got 70 or 80 HP each or so, give or take. They resist a lot of magic, though, of course. But the fact that we only found 2 means we have a really good shot at this. Not bad. It's actually not hitting me that hard. Okay, I did 82 damage. Apparently they have more than 80 HP. Oh, we got it. That was easy. Piece of cake, and we've got the crown. Now all we need to do is escape. Easier said than done, but I think we can pull it off. Mux I could kill, but let's just run. We are rocking it. And don't worry, really, almost every other room in that dungeon is just a waste of time. There is some money and some stuff, but for the most part, don't bother. So I actually had way more heal potions than I needed, as it turns out. I thought 30 would be barely enough. As it turns out, 30 was plenty. Shadows are actually pretty easy, we'll just kill them. I think you get pretty good experience from these things, and they're pretty easy, so you might as well finish them off. Dark does nothing, by the way. It's supposed to lower your accuracy, but it doesn't. Now, zombies and ghouls are actually easier than geists, because I don't think they can paralyze you, and they might have less HP. But that's it! Done! And with that, we have survived. That was... This is why the solo fighter run is not that bad. You can do stuff like that without too much trouble. I was only level 11 or 12, I think. Probably 11? I know for a fact doing that as a white mage, you're going to need to be a higher level than that. Because you don't have a silver sword. And you basically just run from everything. Now, the white mage actually would do quite well against the wizards thanks to the ruse spell. The ruse spell would mean they'd almost never hit her. But, everything else is a real pain until you run out of... Like, you can only cast it so many times. Okay, so... Usual strategy after the Marsh Cave is to go back to, the town and rest up and save there. We don't need to do that, though. We're just gonna go talk to this king who's totally not Astos. Oh, wait, he is totally Astos. And so we got our second real boss fight. He might kill us. He has a spell that literally just kills you in one shot. But it failed. Rub kills you instantly. Unfortunately, he used slow on us, which means we're not doing 2 hits per turn. And we might die now, because we're not doing enough damage. Dark doesn't work, but slow works. And then he killed us with magic anyway. He used the rub spell and just insta-killed us. Unfortunately, Astos is incredibly random, and he's a very difficult boss for a solo party. As you can see here. So, this is the boss that basically stumped me as the thief for ages. As the fighter, eventually we'll hit him a couple times with some crits and kill him. But, I mean, you can see how often that rub spell works. It's just brutal. So we did 92 damage, that's a really good start. And then we were killed instantly.